Good morning. It's Monday. And yesterday for Sunday school, we had a let's have fun learning the Hebrew alphabet. And I hope you enjoyed that little thing. Well, we're going to do part two today because the Hebrew alphabet is broken up into three categories of letters. There's three mother letters, which we talked about yesterday. Okay, and those mother letters were the first letter of the alphabet, A, or Aleph, which is the Fool card in the tarot, and Mem. Okay, incidentally, the Fool card or Aleph represents the primitive element of air. And the next mother letter is Mem, which is right in the middle of the Hebrew alphabet, actually. And that is the hanged man in the tarot and the primitive element of water. And Shin, which is the primitive element of fire. And it's the last judgment card, or in the modern decks, it's the Aeon card. And we talked about how these three mother letters created the rest of the Hebrew alphabet. And today we're going to take the next stage of how that was done. And Aleph, we said, stretched from a central point infinitely up and infinitely down. And from that central point, it stretched itself infinitely right and infinitely left and created east and west. And then it stretched itself from the central point infinitely forward and infinitely back and created the dimensions of north and south. So that would be like Aleph going straight up, and then Mem. There's Mem, the hanged man, going like that. And then I can't do this, but we can imagine Shin going that way. So it would be Aleph, Mem. Okay, you see what I mean. It'd be like this. Yeah. This is going to be a comedy of errors, gang. It would be like Aleph going straight up from the central point, and then Mem going east and west from the central point, and then Shin going north and south from the central point like that. Okay, that's all very nice and tidy. Okay, and you might ask, what the is the central point? Now we know that Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The last letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Tav. And Tav is Saturn. Now, Saturn is a very, very unique. Saturn's more than just a planetary sphere like the other six planets of the ancients. Saturn wasn't even a god. Saturn came before the gods. Saturn was a titan. And Saturn on the tree of life actually is way up in number 3 with supernal triad, which is not even a manifest universe. Saturn's really up there. Saturn's really big. And in the tarot, Saturn is the universe card. And in the tarot, Saturn is the one of two zeros, if you will. The zero of the fool jumping out of pre-existence into existence, and the zero represented by the sphere that usually surrounds the character in the universe card or the Tav card is the zero through which a completely manifested universe jumps back into after it's completely fulfilled its creational cycle. This is the football team rushing out onto the field from a paper hoop at the beginning of the game, and when the game is over, they jump back into the hoop and take a shower. Okay. Those three cards, up, down, right, left, front, backwards, above, below, north, south, east, and west, create dualities, above and below. And the above and below, and the east and the west, and the north and the south all have Hebrew letters associated with them. And those, along with Saturn, are the double letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And let me try to show you. Allow me to demonstrate. Okay. Here is a cue. Oh, well, anyway. These three directions, Aleph, Mem, Shin, extend infinitely up and down and right and left and north and south and east and west. And those directions are dual. They're infinitely expanding, but according to the imagery of the Sefer Yetzirah, above was sealed, and above was sealed with Mercury. So here's Mercury as above, and below is Gimmel. Okay, and in this particular one, my Gimmel looks more like a Nun, but Gimmel is the high priestess. There's a good-looking Gimmel there. So that's above and below. Okay, Aleph is inside there, stretching from the singularity of pre-existent Saturn and creating above and below. Boy, isn't this slick? Okay, stretching from east to west, we have our blue pipe cleaner, creating the east as the planetary sphere of Venus, or the Empress card, and the west, which is Jupiter. Now, so far, we're going in pretty much planetary order. Okay, got to remember there's 22 letters, and there's only 3 mothers, 7 doubles, and 12. So they're interspersed with each other. But anyway, here is our east. Oh, excuse me. Our east and our west. Okay, nothing left now but north and south. So in the north, let's see here, in the north there, we have the planetary sphere of Mars and the Tower card, Hebrew letter Pei, and the south, we've got Resh, the number associated with the sun. So here is our north and our south. And our No, I'm not gonna. You get what I'm talking about. Okay. And I have to kind of hurry because I want us to have fun with the 7 double letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And tomorrow we're going to have to squeeze in 12 simple letters. Okay, let's start with Saturn, shall we? Where'd he go? Why did I put him away? I didn't mean. Let's start with Saturn. Of course, I'm reading from the Chicken Kabbalah of Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford. There's what Saturn, the Hebrew letter for Saturn, looks like. Now, even though he's the planetary sphere of number 3 on the path, Saturn joins the microcosm of number 10 with the macrocosm of the next 6 planetary spheres, or the macrocosm. Saturn just does a lot of heavy lifting for somebody who's a singularity of negativity. Okay. Tav. The path of Tav, number 32, it joins Yesod, the foundation, to Malkuth, the kingdom. Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It's formed just like a Resh, okay, the top there at the top, but it also is supported, it's also supported on the left by a slightly curved leg with an incredibly swollen foot. Tav looks like a Resh holding a dead dolphin by the tail. Don't confuse Tav with Hey, that's the second one there, or Chet, or even a Pei final. Okay. I hope you had your crayons out and copied that. Tav is spelled Tav Vav. The 2 letters enumerate to 406 and mean mark or cross or signature. It can mean to seal, to seal, to seal, to sign off on, to witness. Tav, Aleph and Tav, is the Hebrew equivalent of Alpha and Omega. The word Aleph Mem Tav, AMT, is made up of the first, middle, and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Let's see, Aleph. I can do this. Where's the? Here we go. Aleph. Aleph. Mem. Tav. Let's see here. No, I can't do it with Aleph Mem Tav. Emet. It's made up of the first, middle, and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet, and it means truth. Tav is one of the 7 double letters and represents both the planet Saturn and the element Earth. Okay. And it's, of course, it's the tarot trump, the world. Okay. I'm trying to get these. All right. I've got 6 square inches here in front of here, so you're just going to have to. Okay, now, Aleph is stretched up straight. It created the above, and the above is Mercury, and the Hebrew letter Bet. So let's learn about Bet, or Beth, if you will. Okay, it looks like a Resh on top there. And it's got sort of a trapezoidal base there. And if you'll notice to the right of the base where the leg of the Resh meets, it hangs over a bit. Okay, so the leg of the Resh does not smoothly reach the end of the trapezoid there. There's a lip, okay, because there's other Hebrew letters that look pretty much like it, like there's the bet there, but Kaph looks like that. See how smoothly it, okay. Bet, it's path number 12 on the Tree of Life. That's way, way up there. It joins number 1 and number 3. It's the Magician card. Beth is path number 12, joins Kether, the crown, to Bina, understanding. Note that the roof of Beth is an elongated yod that slides to the right and dips down smoothly to form a leg. The leg is connected to a right-leaning parallelogram and serves as the base of the letter. The leg connects near but not at the right edge of the, see, like that. Okay. Beth is spelled Bet or Beit or Beth. Beit Yod Tav. The 3 letters enumerate to 412 and mean a house. Its shape suggests a cave, the earliest house. In biblical times, the house was often a tent. The house is a fundamental container. But it is also a shelter, a sanctuary, and a resting place, and most importantly, a place to exist. Beth is a fundamental structure of the universe, a container of existence, a receptacle of life, an atom, a living cell, a body. Astrologers divide the heavens into 12 houses. Family bloodlines and households are also considered houses, such as the House of David or the House of Frankenstein. Beth is one of the 7 double letters and represents the planet Mercury. And of course, it's the Trump magician. Now, the Beth is up there on the top. Let's see here. Beth is up on the top of the cube of space. And at the bottom of the cube of space is Gimmel, or the High Priestess. She's right there at the bottom. And the card that joins them together is the Fool. Okay, how slick can you get, Lon? Okay, the Fool is joining the Magician and the High Priestess. Okay, so let's look at Gimmel. It's the very next Hebrew letter from Beit. And it looks like this. Gimmel is path number 13, joins Kether, the crown, number 1, to Tifereth, beauty. Look at that. Right smack from number 1 to number 6, from the singularity to the sun. Okay. Gimmel starts with a yod that extends straight down from its bottom tier. The leg connects to a short right-leaning parallelogram that serves as the base of the letter. Note the leg connects only partially. I'm trying to read it with you. It connects only partially to the top right edge of the base. See that? Okay. Do not confuse with nun. See the kind of the difference? The nun, it just sort of solidly connects at the base. Gimmel is spelled Gimel Mem Lamed. The three letters enumerate to 73 and means a camel. Also, to couple or team up. Like the ox, a camel is an animal domesticated to the service of humanity. The ox, however, is exploited in the cause of nourishment, the camel in the cause of communication. The camel is the ship of the desert, a vehicle of life and commerce, capable of crossing a vast abyss of sand. The path of Gimmel on the tree of life also crosses the abyss and joins Kether to Tifereth. In Aramaic, the language allegedly spoken by Jesus, the word camel and the word rope are spelled exactly the same, gamla. I wasn't there, so I can't say for sure, but I bet in Matthew 19:24, Jesus says it's easier for a rope, not a camel, to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God. See, the only thing that separates the word camel and rope is not how the Hebrew letters that it's used to spell it, but the small little points or dagashes that are used to help pronounce the consonants correctly, and those are sometimes just one little dot or two little dots, and I can easily see how a translator could miss a dot or a fly poop on the manuscript or something. Okay, but I think it's probably rope makes more sense. Gimmel's one of the 7 double letters and represents the moon and the high priestess. Okay, stretches east. Mem stretches itself east and creates infinite eastness, and the Hebrew letter, double letter, they're double letters because they have opposites. Okay, we descended from the beautiful singularity, the smoothness of the supernal triad, and now we're down in the world of duality. There's either an or and right and left. Okay, that's a real come down to consciousness if you're God. Okay, so east is Daleth and Venus. Okay, here's Daleth. And Daleth connects number 2 and number 3 on the tree of life. It's the path of love that joins the great mother Babylon there in number 3 with the all-father chaos in number 2. It's Babylon and the beast joined by the path of love. Daleth, path 14, joins Hokmah, wisdom, and Bina, understanding. Daleth has a firm level roof. It is connected by a leg on the right side. Note that the leg connects near, but not at the right edge of the roof. A little part of the roof hangs over the leg. That's sort of like an eaves. Okay. Do not confuse with Resh, because look at the difference between Resh has that nice smooth thing going down the right, but Daleth has a little overhang. Daleth is spelled Daleth Lamed Tav. The 3 letters enumerate to 434 and mean a door. A door is a valve that can bar or accommodate both the entrance and exit of things. It is a tent flap, a threshold, a gate, Walk out of the door of your house and you move from the unity of your home to the multiplicity of the world and vice versa. The most important door for humans is a woman's womb and or vagina. It accommodates, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, okay? It accommodates entrance of the fertilizing male member, and 9 months later, it is the door through which we enter the world. Daleth is one of the 7 double letters and represents the planet Venus and the Empress. Okay, so here's our cube of space, and on in the west, or excuse me, in the east is Venus and the Empress card right there. Now, obviously, in the west, the opposite side is Jupiter, or the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hebrew letter Kaph. And let's see if I can find it for us here. Oh, I probably screwed it all up. Here it is. Kaph, and there's what Kaph, excuse me, that's what it looks like. Sort of looks like an open hand there. There, let me look. I'm sorry I'm taking up so much time, your time this morning, but let's get through the double letters. It's only a couple more. Kaph. Okay, it looks sort of like a bet, doesn't it? Except the right leg there connects right at the end of the parallelogram, and there's no hangover there. Number 21 joins Hesed, number 4, mercy, to Netzach, victory. Kaph looks like a bet. The only difference is Kaph's leg connects at the far right edge of the base. So don't confuse with bet. And Kaph is also one of the Hebrew letters that when it appears at the end of the word has a final form. And that final form also has a different numeration, a larger numeration. So instead of 20, which is Kaph, Kaph final is 500. Okay. Kaph is also one of the 5 Hebrew letters that has a different shape and a numerical value when it appears as a final letter of the word. The 5 final letters are longer or wider than the regular letters. Kaph final looks like a Daleth with a shorter roof and a long leg. The numerical value of Kaph final is 500. Kaph is spelled Kaph Pei. The 3 letters enumerate, these 3 letters, enumerate to 100s. These 2 letters, okay? Or using Pei final, 820, and mean palm. Kaph even looks like the profile of a hand opening to grasp something, the thumb forming the base, the hand of Yod. Yod actually means hand. We'll talk about that later. The hand of Yod is in the process of creation. It is at the risk of sounding crude, we must remember that for young men, at least, the palm of the hand was our first sexual partner. Palmists are quick to point out that our destiny can be read in the palms of our hands. Kaph's association with Jupiter, the tarot's wheel of fortune, would underscore that association. There's a nice Kaph for us, and there's Jupiter. Kaph is one of the 7 double letters and represents the planet Jupiter and the Wheel of Fortune card. So we've got the Empress, let's see here. The Empress right over here in the east. And in the west, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so now we've got up and down, right and left. We got our Saturn. All that's left is north and south. In the north, is the planetary sphere of Mars. And the Aeon card. Excuse me. Not the Aeon card. What am I thinking? It's the, I might not even have it out. Mars, pardon me, Mars is Pei, or the Tower card. So let's look at Pei. I like Pei. It's easy to see. Pei's path 27. It's a horizontal path. Joins 8 and 7. Joins Netzach, Victory, Dahod, Splendor. Pei is exactly like a Kaph, only it sports a distinctive tongue that dangles from the roof of its mouth. And it's also has a final form too. Okay. Pei is the, here, so I can hold it up. Okay. Pei is the fourth final letter, and when used at the end of the word, it looks like a long vav with a tongue. The numerical value of Pei final is 800 instead of 80. Okay. Pei is spelled Pei-Hey. The two letters enumerate to 85 and mean mouth. What goes in the mouth is nourishment, and it's vital to human life. But what comes out of the mouth is speech. It's also vital to our minds. It's no coincidence that the first and most important gift the mythological gods gave to humans was the gift of speech. Speech is one of the primary characteristics that separates humans from other living creatures. Once we started talking, our thought patterns were drastically overhauled. This had a profound effect upon our ancestors' self-image and view of reality, not to mention the way our brains would evolve from that point onward. Pei is one of the 7 double letters, represents the planet Mars, the tarot trump, the tower. So there is our north. But on the other side is Sheen, or the sun. And let's see if I can, there it is. It's not Sheen. Second time I've done that. Resh, the sun. I should just erase this and start all over again. But I'm too lazy for that. Resh. Resh joins 9 and 8. Path number 30, it joins Hod, Splendor, and Yesod, the foundation. Resh has a firm, level roof that connects smoothly to a right leg. So don't confuse it with Daleth there that has the little rain drain, the leaves on the top there. Okay. Resh is spelled Resh Yud Sheen. The 3 letters enumerate to 510 and mean a head or face. Resh is also suggestive of leadership, like the head of an organization, or of position, like the head of the line, or of quality, like supreme commander. It is really only right and relevant that Resh is regarded as a radiant representation of all that is royal and regal. Now, in case that escaped you, I'm going to do it again, just in case you didn't fully appreciate the, the brilliance of that sentence when talking about Resh. It's really only right and relevant that Resh is regarded as a radiant representation of all that is royal and regal. Words like Rex, Roy, Regina, regent, rule, reign, remain as remarkable reminders of Resh's resplendent renown. A reality that rates our respect and reverent remembrance. I thank you. Resh is one of the 7 double letters and represents the sun, the tarot trump, the sun. So now we've got above and below dualities. Mercury at the top, moon at the bottom, right and left, east and west. We've got Venus and Jupiter, north and south. We've got Pe and Resh. And those are the 7 double letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Well, actually, Saturn is the 7th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and without its central position, its inscrutable singularity at the very, very heart of the cube, he's in there. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, they got drunk. They thought they were through for the morning. Without that Saturn, nothing would happen. Saturn's very important. Just exactly as important as Aleph at the beginning of the Hebrew alphabet. As a matter of fact, one cannot exist without the other. And for that, that's it for today. I'm sorry, I probably went way over. I did. I'm sorry. We'll start out faster tomorrow because we're going to go through the 12 simple letters of the Hebrew alphabet, which actually represent all of these zodiac signs that you see representing the edges of the cube we've just formed from the 3 creating the dualities of the walls and ceiling and floor of the cube. You see how they're labeled there? The edges, there's 12 of those edges, and they represent the 12 simple letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Is anyone still there? If so, it'll all be over tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Have a really regal day. Bye-bye.